Hi guys, welcome to another video. Like many of us stuck inside during this pandemic we find ourselves in, a lot of us have been forced to work from home and that's no different for myself. I am a 5th year architecture student, so I'm actually in the first year of study for my masters, and I'm in the process of kind of transforming my bedroom into a sleeping space, a living space, and more importantly some office space. Before I started, there was literally nothing in this space, and if you want to see how this has developed so far, check out this video up here. And you know, it's still a work in progress. There are still a few bits and pieces that I want to swap around, things that I've ordered, and modify this setup as I go along to suit me better for the type of work that I'm doing and just increase my overall productivity. This entire setup that you see here is actually I have managed to do it for under $500, so probably I've spent just over about £350, something like that. I'm going to exclude things like my MacBook Air and my main work laptop. You know, I would imagine most of you that are kind of wanting to do something like this, you'll have had a work laptop anyway, that you know, you either do uni work, college work, whatever. So let me talk you through what I've actually done. So the first thing for me was obviously to kind of clear out all the clutter in this space. It is pretty small. It's basically within a dormer space, about 1.3 meters wide, right by the window, so I do get a lot of natural light streaming in. First thing I did was to find myself a suitable desk. Now obviously I'm working with a narrower space than what you'd expect for a desk setup, but I did manage to find this on Wayfair. Now normally Wayfair adopts a kind of cheap and cheerful approach in terms of quality and build, but you know what, for the price I'm actually really impressed with kind of how sturdy this whole thing is, and it's actually perfect for the kind of setup that I wanted to create here. This set me back about £100, so that's what, just shy of $150. So that was one of the big expenses. The second big expense for me was to find a suitable monitor where I could actually either hook up my work laptop to that and share screens, or for when I'm video editing. Up until now, I managed to do all my video editing on this little MacBook Air, and you know, I managed to, it's not high specs at all, but I managed to run Final Cut Pro through that. I mean, with some difficulty in the sense that it would get hot, but I managed to do the job. But having this kind of setup now is much better. Now this monitor here is actually a Dell Quad HD monitor, 23.8 inches. I would recommend, if you're the type, you know, if you're gonna have multiple screens up in terms of, you know, you've got your Word documents open, your spreadsheets, that kind of thing, I'd definitely suggest going for either QHD or 4K instead of 1080p. It just means you can actually fit more on the screen without stretching or blowing up the resolution or anything like that, and it still looks crystal clear. When it comes to using this monitor, I actually have it hooked up to a Mac Mini down here. So this is like kind of a permanent setup, and I now do, I suppose it's just casual browsing and mainly for video editing now. Like I said, it's better specs than my MacBook Air over here. It's not kind of super intense or anything like that. I'm not a professional video editor. I have 2 YouTube channels, and that's, you know, it gets the job done for me. Now this monitor set me back about £200, so again just shy of maybe $300, probably less than that. Monitor prices are fluctuating a lot right now depending on where you look. So, you know, if you look on the official Dell website, Amazon, or where I bought this from, Laptops Direct, just happened to be the cheapest price at the time. But you know, if you want to go with a full HD, they're down to below £100. So straight away, those are the 2 big expenses. And then everything else is kind of just there to kind of help utilize my workflow a bit more. So, you know, prior to this setup, I didn't even have a wireless charger. I just stick to my cable for my iPhone 10, but having a wireless charger there that's kind of upright as well, you know, easily display your messages. I control my Sonos music from there as well, and because it's kind of upright facing you, it's just one of those things that, you know, you don't necessarily have to physically pick it up to actually do something on it. Plus it's just less distracting that way, it's just there in the background. And again, I've tried to avoid having too many visible cables because that just ruins the look of something, doesn't it? So again, with, you know, having a wireless charger, it just avoids that. That's hooked up via USB to my monitor, and then kind of all my cables have fed around through the side and underneath, which is one of the reasons that I actually went with this desk here, because I really needed the storage underneath. One for my Mac Mini, which is, like I said, it's permanently here, but it keeps it nicely hidden away. I do have a separate adapter here, because the thing with the Mac Mini, all the ports and things are at the back, and it's a bit of a faff trying to reach around. So the only thing that I really stick into this Mac Mini are SD cards from cameras. So I've just got a basic adapter, less than £10, so what, $10, and that gets the job done for me there. In terms of keyboard, you know, this is something that I had anyway. I did invest in a second-hand Magic mouse. The main reason being that when I edit on Final Cut Pro, just having a sideways scroll is, you know, it's one of those small things that saves you a second or two here or there, but over the course of an entire video project, it adds up. What else do I have underneath here? I do have a Pavilion gaming laptop, which is not where I do my gaming. As an architecture student and hopefully becoming a fully qualified architect, the types of software we use, they are very CPU and graphics intensive. You know, this I bought mainly for my uni work to begin with, less than £1,000, but to get the equivalent specs on something Apple related, it would have cost more than double. So that's really, really good for running programs such as AutoCAD, Revit, anything that you're doing a lot of intensive rendering as well, which is what I do. And then in the left hand side I have A4 whiteboard. Now I suppose this is a bit more of a gimmicky thing, but this is, I suppose, when I do future videos, if I want to highlight some points, I'll probably put it down on this. I do actually use a bigger whiteboard that I have hooked up onto my wall over there, that I kind of have like my daily tasks for the day. You know, you can put whatever you want on that. It's actually really, really useful, you know, whether it be motivational quotes to help you get through the day or other bits of information. What else have I got on my desk? USB fan. Now, it is actually quite warm today, so having something like that is more useful than you think. Obviously, if you live in a really cold country, absolute waste of space for you. And then the final thing is, again, a bit of a gimmicky thing. Everyone seems to have a plant on their desktop, so I jumped on the bandwagon and got myself one as well. It doesn't really do anything, it just sits there and looks pretty, really. The chair I'm sitting on, again, it's just one that I had downstairs. I do prefer using one of those white swivel chairs here because I can actually fit it underneath the desk when I took it away. The problem with this, and obviously having storage underneath on your desk, does reduce kind of like what can actually go under there. Plus, for the aesthetics, that one just looks better. But there you have it, guys. This is my desk setup for pretty much just under $500, that £400 mark, and it's completely transformed the way I work through the day and how efficient I am with it. And whether, you know, you're working in a full-time job or it's for your studies, and, you know, creating setup that you're happy with yourself, it actually motivates you to get up in the morning and actually get on with your work for the day. You know, there's been plenty of days where I've had, you know, I felt lazy, but since I've kind of adopted this setup, my workflow and productivity has genuinely skyrocketed. As always, ladies and gents, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.